The administration is also targeting other Democrat-run cities under the pretense of, quote, fighting crime. They are threatening to go into those cities. So last week, Trump sent 800 National Guard troops into Washington, D.C. And there have even been reported instances of these agents harassing citizens. This man shot a disabled veteran because he thinks the victim was, quote, stealing valor. So you walked up to a veteran and accused him of not being a veteran and then shot him in the chest. This is not the type of news that we like to see coming out of our hometown. But honestly, it has been rumored that she's been under investigation for a long time and reported. It wasn't just rumored, it was reported.
New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell indicted.
Yeah. So BBC has an article about it. They say New Orleans mayor and bodyguard lover charged with fraud and corruption. What a title. That's the headline. Goddamn. Welcome back to the Pragmotiv podcast, where every week we tell it like it is and get you motivated to be the change you seek. It's your boy Trey.
And Steph.
It's Cameron.
And welcome to episode 15. Can y'all believe we made it to episode 15?
Dun, 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 dun.
Y'all, this is the second to last episode of season 1 of Pragmotiv. I can't believe it. We made it. So today's theme is stop dreaming, start planning. I swear one of these weeks, I'm going to get in the middle of that, whatever you call that thing. I'm just trying to make sure y'all got the right audio.
The phone frame.
So I go over to the side so that we'll have good audio on the microphone.
In season 2, we're going to have a different mic stand.
Absolutely, because these things, they done piss me off.
They're acting like they came from Timo.
So, what are your dreams? Do you want to become your own boss? Get away from that job that you can't stand going to? You want to write a book, a suspense novel? How about travel to 10 countries? Dreams are amazing. They give us hope, light up our imagination, and make us long for more out of life. But here's the real deal. Dreams don't magically come true. To make them a reality requires a plan, a strategy, and consistent action. So, in today's episode, we're talking about dreaming, and more importantly, doing. We're breaking down how to take that vision in your head and turn it into something you can touch, measure, and celebrate. We're giving you a practical toolkit to start using today. We'll also be talking about how a mayor of a major U.S. city has been indicted, how Trump's secret police is roving around D.C., the tragic shooting of a U.S. veteran, and Trump's plan for other democratically run cities. So, you know the drill. Let go. So we switching it up this week. Instead of starting off with the briefing room, we're going to save that mess for last. So we're going to start off with how you can get clear on your dream, defining it, and owning it. So we all dream about what we want out of life. But before you can reach any dream or desire that you have to first get clear on what you are trying to achieve. A lot of times we're too vague. We think of things generally, like, I want to be successful, or I need more money every month. Learning to be more specific when we think about goals we want to reach is one of the keys to reaching them. It's pretty hard to hit a target that you can't see. So the more specific you are, the better. The easier it is to come up with a specific plan to reach that target. So here are some action steps to defining your dream. First, you can write your dream in a single sentence. So If you can't sum it up clearly in that single sentence, then maybe it's not ready yet.
Like, I want to be a world famous guitarist. That's a single sentence dream.
I want to be rich.
Says everybody.
Says everyone always.
What's your dream, Cameron? And you can't steal mine.
Well, that's everybody's dream. I can't say what mine is.
Okay, Mr. Secretive. All right, so the
It
third
ain't
one.
ready yet.
The third one is add a timeline. So deadlines create urgency, and without them, dreams just float around in your head, never really becoming a reality.
I want to be a famous guitarist tomorrow. Impossible.
Not if you put your mind to it. So also, don't forget to visualize it in detail. Not just what it looks like, but what it feels like. So the emotional connection is what's going to pull you through the hard days. And there will be hard days. We can
trust and
definitely tell
believe.
you that from our experience. The doubts will creep into your head. So
Yes.
I could say, like we just mentioned at the top of the show, how we are at the, getting close to the season finale. And I mean, all of the obstacles we've had to go through this season on this show, starting this from scratch, not
Right.
knowing what to do, not knowing nothing about audio, nothing
there's
about
no
the
blueprint.
software. We've been through different software programs. Cameron could attest to that.
Oh, yes.
And we figured out which ones work, which ones don't work, So everything is a process, and you have to make sure that you are working through that process, even though in the time you feel like
Yeah, when
I'm
you're
never going
in
to get
it,
through this.
You don't feel like there's an end to it. But that's why it's good to define it. You have to really define it well. And if you could put it into a single sentence, then you have something tangible that you can work towards.
Yeah.
Just saying, I want to be rich. That's a dream, but is it specific enough?
Why are you picking on me?
I'm not picking on you. Me saying I want to be a famous guitarist tomorrow, that's a dream. But as you can see, I would probably have to narrow that.
Yeah.
You'll see.
Yeah. So everybody, put down in the comments, what is your dream?
Yeah,
I would
we
say
wanna
my
know.
real dream is to really make this be more successful than what it is. And I have to caution myself, because you want to say, if you're not at the point that you want to be at, that
Right.
what you're doing is not successful. And that is far from
That's
the truth.
defeatist, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing
Many
that I had
different
to learn.
levels of success.
Yeah.
So just doing it to begin with is a success in and of itself.
Yeah. And see, one thing, as we've gone through this season, we've had episodes that have gotten way more views than we wanted, or not wanted, but thought that we would get. And then we've had other episodes that didn't get the views that we wanted, right? So you could say, well, overall, we didn't get the views we wanted this season. Well, if most podcasts don't make it past the second episode,
And
and
we
we
had
sitting here at
episode 15.
episode 15,
That's success.
then we out the water,
Already beat the odds, right?
we hit the ball out the park. So
step one is summing it up, putting
yeah.
it into a sentence or a statement.
So again, having that realistic deadline and kicking them doubts that creep in the face.
Yeah, I find that doubts creeping in is something that I personally have had to fight. It's like even when I'm painting, because I'm an artist, and even when I'm painting, I'll look at something and I'll have an idea for a painting, or if I'm doing something realistic, I'll lay out the composition and I'll start painting, and then I'm like, I hate it. But what I find is you have to keep pushing, and that's something similar to what we're gonna lay out in this video, in this podcast episode today. Is You keep pushing forward, staying on your plan, and you'll get to your goal.
Yep. So now, once you have your dream visualized in detail and written out in a concise statement, and you've added a deadline or a timeline of when you want to achieve it, it's time to turn that dream into a goal.
Right.
So how do you do that? By breaking it down. A goal is simply a desired result or outcome that you want to achieve within a certain time frame. So, future oriented, it describes what you want to accomplish. Intentional, it reflects a purpose or direction. Or measurable, so you know when it has to be achieved. And then here's an example. So suppose your dream is to own your first home in 5 years. Well, your first goal might be to start saving a down payment, or maybe you need to raise your credit score. If you need to save money for a down payment, then you'll need to know how much you'll need for that down payment. So look at your budget to see how much you can save out of each paycheck. And another thing that I would add to that is when you're trying to achieve your dreams, which therefore turns into your goals, what I do is analyze everything from every angle. So if I'm trying to save up to buy a house, then I'm going to study how the whole house buying process is. What does the mortgage lenders want out of the deal? What do the builders of the house want, or the sellers? You know, how do they make their money so that I'm not blindsided going into the process? Because that's how it was like the first time I bought a car. You know, I didn't know that they add all of those warranties and all of that stuff in there. So
Yeah.
you
Slip
look
that on you.
You look online and it's one price, but then you get in the dealer and it's a whole different price. So part of planning for your dreams, I think, is to really do your research and understand how things actually work. And I'm going to sound like real old when I say this, but you tell us this all the time.
Why you gotta sound old?
Because you say this all the time. We have so much information at our fingertips. And I
Y'all
think our
do.
generation doesn't realize,
You don't.
you know, what we would
Realize
do
it.
without Google. And now without Chat GPT.
I mean, so let's take that example that you was just talking about. If you, when I bought my first car, it was 1989, and I had just gotten out of college, and I didn't know what the car buying process was like. So consequently, I got a high interest rate because I didn't know that, I mean, to negotiate for that, to tell them, well, no, I don't want this. I didn't even know on the form where to look for the interest rate. It was like, I didn't know what the interest rate was until months after I had gotten the car. So it's like I was really, like, I think I was 21 or 22. And I didn't know, but you guys y'all have YouTube. You could go on YouTube and look at the car buying process. Unless you knew somebody that worked for a dealership, you didn't know what the process was. So it's like I had to go through several car buying experiences before I became.
You got a game plan of what to expect.
So I mean, not to scold any of y'all that are young, but you really do have information at your fingertips, and I think a lot of times y'all don't even, not y'all per se, but you know, just in general, y'all's generations don't understand or don't realize what you have at your fingertips. It's almost like there's too much information, but you don't realize, oh, I can understand. It's like you take it for granted, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because it is right there. So you can go onto YouTube or any other platform and figure out, you know, like I've used YouTube a lot to fix things in the house, to change this, to build that, you know. things that I would have never known how to do. So yeah, information really is at your fingertips.
Yeah. So going back to what we was just saying, this is what we mean by breaking it down. It's like when you have to work backwards from the end goal, but figure out what are the main activities you need to be able to do that will get you to that end goal. That was a lot to say. So if you break it into smaller doable tasks,
right,
then you'll be able to get it done and you won't be overwhelmed. So you should also track your progress using apps, planners, a vision board, whatever works for you. But find a way to track your progress.
So y'all know what a vision board is?
I've heard of people talking about vision boards. I don't, I haven't ever really done it. I just use like calendars to track in the reminders app. I use a lot. Like I'll make a list to do this week, to do today. And that's how I keep up with everything I'm supposed to do. And I just break it down. I find it better to break it down per week, because if I break it down per day and I only get 2 out of the 6 things done, then I'm looking at myself like I'm a failure. But that's where my anxiety comes in.
You can't do that to yourself.
But I will probably tell myself I could do these 6 things when in reality it's only humanly possible to do
3
2
of them. You do that a lot, Trey.
This to other people.
So you just gonna put me on blast, Cameron? You just gonna wait till the end of the season and just put me on blast in front of everybody?
Yes. He would tell me do this, and this. And then I'll be like, bruh, it's too much shit. Can't get it done.
But I'm like, it gotta get done.
It will get done tomorrow. Or maybe even the next day. Not all today.
So I find that keeping something visual in front of you helps remind you of what you're working towards. So I'm a big believer in not necessarily making a vision board, but that same type of concept of keeping your goal visual in front of you to remind you that that's what you're working towards.
Yeah. So tracking your progress is not just organization, but it's also motivation, and motivation is really important. So the next step is really important, and it's where a lot of us could fall off. So the next step, build your systems, plan for consistency. So we've talked about defining your dream, being specific, and then setting specific goals with steps you can take action on. Where a lot of people fall off is not building a system to keep them on track. Once you've set the action steps, you have to actually act.
Right. So a system just basically means integrating your action steps into your daily activities. Like use a calendar, like he said, to plan your activities so you know what you're supposed to be doing at a given time. I think that's kind of hard for a lot of people, but it really does work. Suppose you want to eat healthier. You might have to actually prep your meals. We tried prepping meals. We need to get back to that. We tried, but we didn't.
That was annoying.
I know, but it works though. I don't think we gave it enough time. And that's a lot of times what people, they have a desire to do something, but
you don't stick to it enough. You try it for like time, and it's hard at first.
And that's why it's important to develop a system. So integrating your action steps into your daily activities, creating habits, blocking out non-negotiable time to work towards your goal using the action items you've laid out. So like if we wanted to try the meal prep again, we would have to block out a time to say, okay, at this time on the weekends, maybe on Saturday or Sunday, we're prepping meals for the week. And that's what, if you stick to it, it'll become a habit. And then it'll just be like everything else that you do that you're in the habit of doing. But you got to remove friction too. Get rid of any small obstacles like physical or mental or logistical that make it hard on you. So friction could be like environmental barriers, like suppose you want to work out, but your workout clothes are buried in the laundry.
Yeah.
You skip the gym because you don't have your workout clothes.
Now,
The
see, for
solution
me,
is
that wouldn't be
lay
a
them out
problem.
the day before. Make sure
Yeah.
you got them together.
For me, that ain't a problem because during the week I live in my workout clothes, so I don't have that excuse.
And some people
Yeah.
just really need to wash their damn clothes. Like, why is buried in there in the first place?
Well, your workout clothes might be buried from the last time you worked out. So think about it the day before and get them together. Another
That
Oh,
got my
go ahead.
germophobia all fucked up. When
I
you
always
finish
try to
working out,
wash
you
it.
put them bitches in the washing machine.
Yeah.
So another friction that might come up is decision fatigue. Like you waste time figuring out what to do.
Yeah.
Instead
Now
of
see,
actually doing it.
now for me, I never used to have that struggle, right? And now lately, I guess as I got into my late 20s, that has become more of an issue for me.
Why you think that is though?
I think I just overanalyze every decision now. I'm like, okay, if I make this decision, then it's going to have these consequences, and these consequences could turn into those consequences, and then that consequence could be this consequence. So then if I make this decision, then what if it goes into this and then that?
Your mind just be on extra.
Oh,
Why?
11
For no
million.
reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't used to think that though. Like I didn't used to be like that. I used to just say, okay, I got A or B. Well, I'm gonna choose B. And whatever happens, happens. I know I thought about it. You know. I don't know. Maybe it's stress that brings it on. Maybe it's getting older and realizing that every
Keep saying getting
decision
older.
has consequences. You keep saying I'm not old. I am old.
Well, would that make
I'm
me
in the
ancient?
threes.
You in the three.
You might want to stop, bro.
I'm about to be in the six, the sixes. And he talk about he old. Just wait, keep living.
Look at camera. You did what camera said.
You might want to stop.
You might want to stop.
Y'all, I'm getting in trouble.
So there's also
Will I see the season finale?
friction. Could all be logistical. It could also be logistical. You want to eat healthy, but you don't have the ingredients you need to eat healthy. So prep and portion your meals. I hate to keep going back to that, but I really want to try it again, y'all. And it also could be mental resistance, like he's talking about, feeling overwhelmed by a big task. Break it down into tiny first steps and start. And then once you start,
Yes. And that has
gain
definitely
momentum.
worked for us in doing this podcast and doing the other project that we've been working on behind the scenes that we'll finally be able to tell you about next episode. So make sure you tune in. It is, you have to do things that are huge in small increments because
Right.
otherwise you really just won't know where to begin. And that saying is so cliche, but it really is true about trying to eat an elephant in one bite. You can't do that. You know, you have to figure out.
Right. And that's a good analogy.
You
I mean,
know.
you wouldn't really be able to do that.
Now, I don't know who out here eating elephants, but I don't know where that came from.
I
But
don't like that saying.
Okay, how about eat a frog?
no, still no.
Who looks at a frog and say yeah?
People
I'ma
eat that.
A
They
lot
eat
of
that-
people eat that, Cameron.
Not I.
I've heard frog legs are really good.
Shit.
I've heard
Tastes
they
like
taste
chicken.
like chicken.
They say that about a lot
I
of
know
shit.
a lot of shit.
I'm
everything
game
tastes
to
like
try
chicken.
it. Y'all don't have to try it, but I'm game to try it. But I want to try it from like a really good restaurant.
I saw this meme where they was on the table. It's still moving.
Yeah.
No, that's not.
Look, I'm the most pickiest eater. Partially because I have to be because of all of my damn allergies and cross contamination and all of that shit. But I just don't really like to try new things.
I'll be just fine with a half and half shrimp oyster po' boy. Dress, of course.
So the idea is that the fewer barriers between you and the doing the thing, the more likely you are to do the thing. But
Simple enough.
don't underestimate accountability, whether it's a friend, a mentor, or even posting your progress online. You need accountability to hold you
Yeah.
to what you said you were going to do. And
Nah.
I think,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh no, go ahead.
As long as that posting your accountability online is in a friendly group, because I can see a lot of Karens out there being like, you said you were going to eat healthier and you don't look like you're eating healthier.
I don't think people do that.
God damn,
There's so many haters online.
I don't
We
find
choose to
that.
ignore them.
I don't find that.
Now, we haven't had
when
as
I
many
post stuff like when
as we did
I
when we
post
first
workouts,
started.
it's a lot of encouragement.
from some people, but I dare bitch to start talking shit. I be like, bitch, well, where your profile picture? They're always the ones that talk the most shit. They ain't got
That
no
don't
damn
have a
profile picture.
picture.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, because they trolls.
I said I wasn't going to talk about this, but I guess it's so far removed since it was the beginning of the season that I can talk about it. It was kind of funny to me because when I see these hate comments, I really do laugh at them, but I don't respond to them because I don't want to give them the oxygen. I don't want to give the fire the oxygen to breathe. But when we first started, y'all, we had no idea like the settings on the camera. So we didn't
I know what he about to say.
that as you pull the cameras out and zoom them out,
When you
they
go to the
stretch-
ultra wide.
yeah, they go to ultra wide and stretch everything out. So it was making us look extra fucking big. And
We
you could
already
look,
big.
you could look at the camera and you could look behind me and you could see that the chairs behind us is extra wide. So it made me look extra big. And this dude had the nerve to say, "Bro, you built like a tomato," because I was wearing a red shirt. And I saw it and I laughed at it, but he didn't have no profile picture.
Yeah, like what the fuck you look like, bitch?
So why
you
why
wanna
you
talk
not making
shit?
this an equal opportunity roasting?
Yeah. You want to talk
Because
shit? Then
they
show
don't
me
wanna
your
bring
profile
ass to
picture.
get at.
We from New Orleans, so come on, let's do the dozens. But anyway, you live
Don't
and
write
you learn.
checks. Don't let your mouth write checks that your ass can't cash. I'm fucking sick and tired of people. As if your opinion is wanted.
Yeah.
If I didn't send for you, don't come for me.
All right. So now you have your goals and your system in place. We done schooled you on how to come back at them damn haters. So what's next, you might ask?
You got to expect them roadblocks.
And adapt. Resilience over perfection. Now, this is a good one. So what's next is usually some type of crisis or roadblock or hurdle.
Don't we know it?
Will continue to life while you're trying your best to reach your goals and make your dreams come true. It's not a question of if curveballs or setbacks will happen. It's how you will handle them. There will always be unexpected bills, time crunches, or setbacks. So, being resilient means don't think in terms of failures. Think, how do I adjust? Plans aren't meant to be rigid. They're living documents that evolve with your circumstances. And I laugh at that
Read it again,
because
Trey. Read it.
that is my
Read it
problem.
again.
Y'all, if I spend time to fucking plan my week out on the calendar and one thing goes wrong and I have to redo it, I'm pissed off. I'm like, nah, I gotta move this and move that and move this here and that
You
there.
gotta stay flexible. You
So-
don't control everything in the world that affects your ability to do A, B, or C. So
I
don't
know.
beat yourself up about it and be flexible. I'm talking to the viewers. Mm-hmm. But I'm talking to you.
I know. I knew she was talking to me. I knew it, and I knew she was gonna say it. Okay, so track your progress in a visible way. So not just in your head. Use a journal, an app, or a wall calendar. A wall calendar where you where you check off completed actions.
Now, wait a minute now. Some people still have wall calendars. Thank you very much.
This builds a feedback loop that keeps
Y'all act like that's
motivation.
extinct or something.
I'm trying to think. A wall calendar. Like you really sitting there with the Sharpie And Xing each day.
We just talked about keeping it in front of your face. Sometimes I don't even go to my calendar on my phone. So maybe certain people need a
That's
wall
what I started
calendar.
my day with. All right, so
All
review
y'all
regularly.
Gen X's and Gen whatever
You
y'all.
Gen X.
Okay, well Gen Y, Gen Z, Gen Millennium, whatever you call them. I can't keep up with all these generations.
So weekly or monthly check-ins to ask what's working, what's not, what needs to change. Now, having an accountability partner is really important because you might not see the time that you're wasting on TikTok, on Netflix,
Trust me. I know I waste time more than I should.
on IG.
Oh my goodness.
So
Don't talk about reels on Instagram. You're supposed to be going to sleep. You get in the bed for 10 o'clock. You look at the clock. And then isn't it convenient that the time is never shown while you in the app?
oh no,
Because they want you to stay on the app.
They ain't even trying to mess with their money.
I'm about to start using focus mode and screen time because they taking too many hours from me.
Oh man, speaking of screen time, yesterday I was looking at my screen time because I do keep track of it, right? And I forget that we record the show using some of my other phone, right? So I'm looking and it says, which I still don't understand why it says this because we don't record
What it said?
for 24
150 hours of
It
screen
said
time?
my screen time was up. I think it was like 200% or 300%. And it said your average screen time is 24 hours a day.
No.
I said, I know you fucking lying.
But with
Literally
these batteries
impossible.
Apple give us,
You would have to have toothpicks in your eyes.
So revisit your why. When things get hard, remind yourself why you started and what the end goal means to you. Celebrate your milestones, which is very important. Whether it is hitting a revenue target, losing the first 10 pounds, or completing a chapter of your book, mark the moment. This reinforces success and prevents burnout. And anticipate your plateaus. Progress often stalls before it moves forward again. So knowing this in advance prevents discouragement. You also should have a re-entry plan. And that is if you get derailed for a week, a month, decide in
3 or 4 or
advance.
5.
Decide in advance how you gonna get your ass back on track.
I
So,
got to decide how I'm going to get back on track with my exercise.
yeah.
Because I'm only doing it twice a week.
Well, that's a start. It all, like I talked about this. I forget what episode it was, but I talked about how when I get sick, it throws me off. And like last week, I had a lot of procedures at the hospital and stuff.
It's
So
hard to get in the groove if you
it messed
constantly
me
having
up.
to revamp. But
So-
when those hard times come, like we were saying, revisiting your why, like reminding yourself why you're doing that.
Yeah.
You're doing it, whatever you're doing, can help you.
Yep.
So talking about defining and planning and goal setting, everything we just talked about can also be applied to the current political climate, or rather just existing as a citizen in this country.
When does it not?
It's time for us as citizens to collectively go from wanting something to happen to making it happen. Waiting for someone else, whether it's a leader, the politician. That's a trap. Yeah, that's a trap. Saying that, oh, so-and-so, the president so-and-so is going to make my life better. Real change starts with deliberate, self-led action.
Yep.
I look at it as this: the president of the United States doesn't know who you are. So how exactly is he going to actually make your life better to your niche issue? Everybody just always wants to say, well, this person's going to do this, that person's going to do that. Maybe you get in on the fight. Maybe you run.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
think
you
that's
gotta
what it's
take-
going
you
to
gotta
take
take
for our
accountability.
country to move in the direction that most of us seem to want it to move in, because I'm pretty confident that most of us do not want the country going in the direction it's currently going in.
Nope.
So it's going to take us getting involved on a granular level at the local level to affect change. Yeah. So, I mean, I just keep hearing people saying that they're mad because my life didn't get better under XYZ president. And I just don't think that that's a realistic expectation. I think that you have to understand that it's much more than the president that affects your life. It's your local, it's the people you send to Congress.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because if all of them turn their backs on Trump, Trump can no longer affect us.
Mm-hmm.
But they won't do that because they are his bedfellows in more way than one.
If we're talking about the current iteration of the Republican Party, I really think that it's mostly a cult. I think that any of the Republicans that are true to what the Republican Party has traditionally stood for, I think that they've long since either switched to independent. Some of them have switched to Democrat. The Democratic Party has its own flaws. I mean, I don't know. What do y'all think is going to affect that change?
It's going to take somebody not taking no for an answer. It's going to take the David Hoggs of the world to get into the higher positions or run for things that the DNC can't control. So the DNC can't control how many Democrats run in a race. It's just going to take the David Hoggs, Zoran Mamdanis of the world to not take no for an answer. Don't worry about getting their party's endorsement. Just run as the party that they're in.
Yeah.
And get the nomination.
Unfortunately, I think it's going to take for things to get worse, for people to realize that, hey, nobody's coming to save me. I have to save myself, which means I have to pay attention to who's running for office. I have to pay attention to when the election is and go vote for the right person. And if I don't have any good choices, then I have to become the choice.
Yeah.
And
there's examples of that.
Yeah.
Katie Porter was, I don't know what she was before she was a congresswoman, but she got in and won.
She may have been a lawyer. I think she was a lawyer.
Elizabeth Warren, I want to say she was, don't quote me on this, but I might be getting it wrong. I think she was a teacher or something.
Yeah,
she's a
college professor.
Yeah, so anybody could do it. I would be practicing what I'm preaching, but I'm not old enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but I will be.
But it's not just only about the politics. It is about power and your own power to decide where you're headed and the steps that you'll take to get there is what matters the most. So dreams are nice, but they're only the trailer. The movie is what you actually do. So
Right.
This is something that we've talked about a lot here on Pragmotiv because we feel this is the key to keeping our democracy from falling apart.
And I think it's definitely under attack, and we have to resolve as the citizenry, because we are the democracy. We are the republic.
Yeah.
So we have to resolve to get involved.
We're the main gear that keeps everything going, and people just don't realize that, especially in states like Texas, where your voter turnout is just so low. But then you wonder why your state is so oppressive.
Yeah.
Louisiana too, but at least I guess in some cases we're worse down here because we saw what we could do with the governor's election, like we talked about on the last show, and then turned around and sat at home and just gave it all away again.
Yeah.
For no reason.
We just had a Democratic senator here until 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells me that we can elect one again. You can't gerrymander a Senate election.
And you can't gerrymander your gubernatorial election or your presidential.
Yeah. So if
It's just about y'all getting up and participating,
yeah.
Well, I mean, on that note, look at the turnout this past weekend here in this city.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many registered voters there
I
are.
don't know. I couldn't tell you.
But-
We was the only ones in the room.
Yeah, there was not a line. When you go to the polls and the poll workers are thanking you for coming out, that means that they're not seeing the turnout.
And it's crazy that people just have the opinion of, well, I have to work. I have this. I have that. I don't have time to do that. Well, if you don't get involved.
And
Yeah,
then
that's
when you
the
don't
connection.
vote,
People.
like
That's
if
the connection we're trying to show, is that you can't change something that you're not involved in. And
yeah,
And then you're not
wanna
going to
just
have
sit
your
back
job.
and
that's what I'm about to say. So think about it. If they're a teacher, if they're a nurse, right? And you didn't have time to go vote in the fall because you had to work. I understand that you have to work. I understand that people are stressed. I understand that people have their lives. But in most states, to my knowledge, there is early voting. I know in Louisiana there's early voting. I know in Texas there's early voting.
Yeah, I think that's true for most states.
So-
I don't know of a state that doesn't have early voting.
You should be able to, within the time frame of at least a week, be able to find some time to slide in there and vote. So if you couldn't find the time to vote because of your job, now they've passed that big ugly ass bill.
Right.
And how many teaching jobs are going to be lost? How many healthcare jobs are going to be lost? So now you're not going to have a job because your voice wasn't heard,
Yeah.
assuming that they would have voted to not usher in
Right.
this regime.
The minute somebody actually stops and pays attention to what that ugly, stupid ass party does, the Republicans, the minute somebody sees that,
Yeah, they don't ever
They-
run on
they
their
not gonna
policies.
vote
They
for
don't.
that.
They run on what's wrong.
They
quote
don't
unquote.
they don't run on their policies anymore. They used to run on their policies.
Not since I've been paying
I know,
attention to politics.
but remember now. I'm talking to
Yeah.
back in the day when the Republican Party, when you could say that its platform was a rival to the Democrat platform, which is what you need opposing parties. You need something that represents opposing views. And
they just wanted to get the
now
government out
they
of
just
people's lives.
everything is about grievance.
Yeah. Everything is about grievance and how to one up the other party. And it's no longer about, well, who's best for the job? Doing this. Yes, we need healthcare in this country, but how do we pay for it? That was the disagreement. Now it's, well,
We
the
don't need
Republicans
healthcare.
saying,
Right.
you don't need healthcare, but I get to have it.
Right. And I think it goes a little deeper than that, and we'll go into that in the plus episode. Because I think there's something very much more sinister at play with that.
Yeah.
So here's your takeaway. Whether we're talking about your career, your health, your relationships, or the future of this country, stop waiting for someone else to make it better. No one is coming. That's not the bad news, though, because it means you really are in control. Everyone has the power to use their voice. And that's what we're trying to get across.
All right, y'all. So now it's time to get into the mess that is the briefing room this week.
Really?
Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Let's
not.
get into this fuckery.
So, this is not the type of news that we like to see coming out of our hometown. But honestly, it has been rumored that she's been under investigation for a long time and reported. It wasn't just
Right.
rumored, it was reported.
New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell indicted.
Yeah. So BBC has an article about it. They say New Orleans mayor and bodyguard lover charged with fraud and corruption. What a title. That's the headline. Goddamn. So, quote, prosecutors said, well, not a quote. Well, it's a quote out the article. Prosecutors said on Friday that LaToya Cantrell developed a personal, intimate relationship, that are quotes, with Jeffrey Vappy from October 2021 while he was part of her protection team. The two were also said to have taken personal trips, including to a vineyard in California, to take part in wine tasting while Mr. Vappy was on duty to, quote, maximize their time together at a cost of $70,000. While in New Orleans, they treated a city-owned apartment as their personal shared residence and spent time there together while Mr. Vappy claimed to be on duty and was being paid for his protection work, prosecutors alleged. U.S. Attorney Michael Simpson said their relationship did not constitute a crime, but reflected a years-long fraud scheme that used public money for personal ends by exploiting their power and their authority, according to CBS News, the BBC's U.S. partner. The two are also accused of intimidating subordinates, lying to the FBI agents, and committing perjury by making false statements to a grand jury, which decide whether charges should be brought in certain cases in the United States. If found guilty, any of the charges could bring multi-year prison sentences and fines of up to $250,000.
Okay, now, if you lied to the FBI, you are gone pecan.
This, first of all, it was national news. Now it's worldwide news.
Right? BBC picked it up.
Embarrassing.
Hide my face.
Second of all, this is kind of like a hard story to just see because we did support LaToya
Yeah,
Cantrell.
what happened when she got in there? I mean, she did good work on the city council. She was on the city council for how long?
I
For a
don't
few
know
years
exactly
before
how
she
long,
ran for mayor.
but
And
you
she
know,
did good stuff.
She
What
said that she
happened?
brought Costco to New Orleans. You know, she campaigned on that. She campaigned on fixing up, part of the Claiborne.
Taking down
corridor.
the speed cameras.
Well, that's what she campaigned for mayor on, but we know that she did not do that.
No, she didn't do that.
So it wasn't long after she took office that I started to see things that was kind of bothering me with the administration. The first thing was her not taking down the speed cameras when that's what she said that she was campaigning on.
Yeah, but even before she took office, using the city council credit card for personal expenses.
Yes. Now what I've
The
learned,
traveling the first class upgrades.
well, that
that
was
she
after,
was
yeah, that
taking
was
after
after
she
she
became
took
mayor.
off. So here's the thing: what I've learned is, as a voter, we have to think about this like you are the owner of a company, right? You might hire the wrong employee at times, but you have to learn from your mistakes. So it was shocking to me when all of this came out, but then I look back on it and I'm like, okay, they did report that she allegedly misappropriated funds when she was on the city council. But when she was campaigning, she said something to the effect of, oh, I was just buying pizza for my district, And you was thinking, well, maybe that wasn't approved. But if the city council person is gathering kids together and buying pizza for them, then I don't view that as a misappropriation of funds,
If that's really what happened. I mean, did they say that's really what happened? But even more
they
shocking.
they just didn't have the evidence to indict her, of course.
But
So-
more shocking than that was her conduct in the public. Like for me, like that fight she had in the bathroom.
Oh, shit, I forgot about that.
I'm like, really? Why?
So we know as Black professionals that you have to show no
Semblance of impropriety. Right.
Yeah, there you go.
What if Barack?
If Barack had did
That should be like a sign,
1%.
like a saying. What if
Barack was fighting in the bathroom?
But just what if Barack did 1% of what Trump has done?
Right?
No.
He would be in jail. So this is the thing that we know as Black people, that you have to do twice as much to get half as much, right? So going into it, her being the first Black female mayor of the city,
There was
the bar was already set
really high
for you to come in and be exceptional. You had to be. And this is not it.
No.
So yes, she is innocent until proven guilty, of course. But it ain't looking good.
No,
it's
not looking good. And look at the things that you have done. Did she throw a drink on a patron at Mardi Gras, or was she just arguing with them? She was arguing with the man that had on the Vappy Mardi Gras T-shirt.
Yeah.
So
I think she flipped them all.
Yeah.
Now,
So
I didn't, that to me,
yeah, but
that
wait
was
now.
New Orleans energy to me.
No.
I mean,
I don't agree.
people are entitled to their First Amendment protected rights, and what he did was First Amendment, and what she did was First Amendment. But
you're the mayor.
You have to be able to deal with that level of criticism.
Right. You're at Mardi Gras in front of Gallia Hall, which is where the mayor of the city and other dignitaries stand to toast the kings of the different crews as they come down St. Charles. I mean, okay, he had on a T-shirt that was poking fun of you because you're having an affair with a man, allegedly. You know, all in the public, and treating the city Pontalba apartment like it's your personal love nest. That man had on that shirt, but she didn't have that to do.
Well, here's what I say about all of that. The thing that I didn't like, that really was pissing me off about the administration, and what I think people need to learn from this, is that the people that you elect, we might be electing them because they're charismatic, which LaToya definitely had that charismatic, down-to-earth vibe, which is why a lot of people say they didn't vote for Hillary. And for some strange reason, I heard them saying that about Kamala too.
But for me with LaToya, it was that I felt like she would be a good person to lead the city. She put forth that confidence that I could see. I don't know what happened.
But she was also charismatic, which is what I think a lot of people
they didn't
went with her.
They probably looked,
because Desiree Charbonnet was also very competent. Desiree Charbonnet actually had more plans available on her site, kind of like in the essence of what Hillary Clinton had compared to Donald Trump.
But Desiree Charbonnet, they probably looked at her as a word that people like to use, sedity.
Yeah, or uppity, or being out of touch. And, for me, what made me end up supporting LaToya was that Desiree Charbonnet was saying law and order, which the city needed, but that had become a Republican talking point.
Yeah, and it has some connotations that...
Yeah, because when they say law and order, they really mean...
suppressing brown people.
Yeah. Harassing black people.
So
because as soon as them bitches step they fucking fat foots on the ground, they already going up on black people property. Saying, well, what you doing?
And we're going to talk about that.
I dare bitch to come on my house.
That's actually in the briefing room. But here's what really is what I'm saying we need to learn from. Okay? What happened with LaToya is I noticed immediately the lack of things, the crime spiking in New Orleans. Yes, crime did spike across all major cities across the United States. But just the sheer amount of crime, to me, goes to the lack of leadership in the administration. And she wasn't coming out and saying, hey, I recognize that y'all are uneasy, that people are getting shot on the interstate, that people are getting robbed while trying to put gas in their car, while people are getting carjacked while putting groceries in the back of their car. Like, these are things that was not normal occurrences in New Orleans that was happening weekly in the city and being reported on. People had started running red lights. People was doing hit and runs. I mean, our own father was a victim of the hit and run. This is the kind of lawlessness that had taken over the city.
I'm going to push back a little bit on that, because just like you can't expect the president, the mayor, there's other things that's involved in combating crime other than the mayor. There's like the court system. I read where it was like a revolving door. It was like these same juveniles. So you have to have the whole system.
Yes, but just like with a company and you have a CEO, if you have a problem at a company with logistics, the CEO may not be versed in logistics, but it's up to them to work with the stakeholders to figure out how to solve that problem. And the mayor in New Orleans is in charge of appointing the police chief. So if the police chief wasn't getting the job done, which to me was evident because when he stepped down and the interim police chief came in,
everything
crime dropped.
Like almost overnight.
Yeah. So it was just the way that they was doing things was creating a bigger problem for the citizens. And I think that, the city is going through an election right now. People really need to look at who's the best candidate based off of what are their plans. What are they telling you? What are they verbalizing? It can't just be generic stuff. Oh, we want to make the city better for all.
And
we
can't
want to
just
close
be because
the gender pay gap. Well, how exactly is the mayor of a city supposed to do that?
Make sure that what they're promising you is something they could actually
Didn't
deliver
one of
on.
them say something ludicrous about, I'm going to lower you this, so I'm going to do...
I think lower rent or something.
How?
The mayor of a city
How you
can't
gonna do
control.
that?
You can't lower rent, So here's what
rent won't go down until
if you
we
got
have
a
better housing
candidate
stock.
telling you, I'm going to streamline the permitting process, then that's something the mayor can control. If you got a mayor telling you, I'm going to fix the streets,
that's something that
that's under the mayor's control. But if they telling you, I'm going to bring more jobs to the city, I'm going to raise wages, I'm going to lower rent, those are convoluted things. And take who's in the presidency out of the equation. It doesn't matter who. The president in general has a hard time affecting change in those categories across the country.
Because
so how
that's the
is a
private
mayor
sector.
supposed to do that?
Right.
That's not the kind of system we live in. And that's what I feel like a lot of people just doesn't understand what our system of government is, how it relates to the private sector, and how, most of the time, especially in the United States, we do not control the private industry. You control them through regulation, but with Republicans and Democrats, they don't regulate enough.
Yeah.
I mean, we have all of these things in our house, like Alexa, and I shouldn't have said her name. Sorry. And the other one that start with an S.
That might trigger. Because we just be talking and she be like, I'm like, bitch, nobody called you.
So what are they listening to? So the other day, I know you've been on Duolingo and you've been learning Spanish, right?
Yep.
Tell me why, and I didn't even tell you this, Cameron. Tell me why all the ads on Mama TV is in Spanish now.
Something in Spanish came on this TV.
Uh-huh.
A whole commercial. How the fuck?
Because they're listening.
That's the shit that's going on, y'all. That's what's really happening. And the government is so far behind.
No,
They're not
ma'am.
regulating that. And then
No,
what they
ma'am.
passed in that big ugly bill, no regulation of AI.
Right.
Of
So
course.
don't even think that they're about to regulate.
And you would think Trump want that shit regulated. What I've been seeing people doing to him.
Look, it's
the
going to
hula
get to the
dance?
point
The hula dance.
where you gon' think about a pizza, being hungry and think about a pizza, and it's gonna be at your door. That's how much in our brains this fucking AI gonna be.
And who gonna pay for this
I
shit?
hope not.
They are gonna charge your card. Like Amazon already be charging people card
Shit.
when they kids go and ask.
Oh,
That
that's
one.
that one.
Yeah,
I want
I want a Barbie doll house.
Barbie doll house
That
show up
shit
at
is
your door.
expensive.
So,
Mm-mm.
I
That
think
be
we
the minute
covered
that bitch
everything,
get out my
but-
house.
Yeah.
The
That,
craziest thing
assistant.
for me is that apparently there was reports that people close to the mayor told her this wasn't a good idea. You should stop, and she doubled down.
And she just ignored them.
And she
So
knew
that's
she
how you
was
learn.
under investigation.
Now you're indicted.
I don't know why you trusted WhatsApp. You should have used Signal. But why you trusted WhatsApp?
If she got on Signal, then Hex, that's what's in her some warplanes.
So the one thing that not many people is talking about is the fact that, I pray for her daughter because her daughter is a teenager, I
How
believe.
old is she? 15?
I don't really know exactly how old she is, but she just lost her dad.
Yeah, her parents split up. Then her dad died. That poor girl.
Well, they didn't split up.
Yeah, that
That's
was
the
never
other scandal
confirmed.
about this.
Oh, see, I didn't know.
But not me. If I were to speculate, why was she even in the Puntava to begin with?
Well, according to some of the indictment, which they haven't released all of the evidence they have, but they're saying that she went into the Puntava because that was where her and Vappy decided they would cohabitate. So I don't know. This kind of shit is just so messy to me.
It's
It ain't
so
something
messy.
that I'd be like, oh, let me find out the latest details
But
of
it
this.
is.
T.
Yeah.
So
well,
my message to voters is just please look at your candidates.
do your homework.
And stop voting on party. Stop voting on race because that's a lot of what's going on in the election right now. You can't get mad at
And-
Republicans when they bring race into things. If
Yeah.
you just gonna vote on race and not looking at
Who is the best candidate? And it's always, well, I feel like I could have a beer with this person. I don't see myself having a beer with Hillary Clinton, as if you get the privilege. As if Donald Trump will have a beer with you. Donald Trump wouldn't piss on
Donald
you.
Trump
probably
don't
don't
drink
even
beer,
drink
he
beer.
say. He says he doesn't drink alcohol.
All
Although
he drink is Coke.
the shit he be mumbling, I would hope he was drinking alcohol because that would explain it.
He probably drinks champagne.
The windmills are causing cancer, getting me drunk.
Okay, so in other news,
Speaking of,
the Trump administration continues to create chaos as it tries to shift the focus away from the Epstein files. He still talk about the Epstein
Fucking
files.
Epstein.
everybody
Just
gonna be
release
talking
the
about
bitches.
them freaking files that you said you was gonna release, that you say you're not in, but they redacted your name out of, that you don't want people to know what you did with Jeffrey in them long years that y'all was besties, and yeah, ain't nobody letting go of that shit. Release the files.
When the Democrats take over, they need to haul his ass in front of Congress
Because
and
really,
make him testify to what's in them files.
I'm going to say it again. You ginned this up for years to where, and when I say you, I mean y'all right wingers talking about there's a pedophile ring, Democrats, elites, pedophile ring, to where you had a man go to the pizza parlor with an automatic rifle. Talk about Hillary Clinton was running a pedophile ring out of this pizza place in the basement that didn't have a basement.
Shit that y'all come up with.
There wasn't a basement.
Nope.
Lies.
Putting
So
people's
now
lives in
you
danger.
have thrown that out there for years, literally. Pedophile ring. We're going to release the Epstein. Epstein was, they tried to say that it was a bunch of Democrats. But tell me why it is that there's so many people in his orbit that are credibly accused of sexual assault,
Including
underage, statutory rape, a whole bunch of stuff that I can't even remember to name. But it's numerous people in his orbit who have been credibly accused of something to do with sexual misconduct or assault or whatever. So y'all threw that out there and y'all ginned it up. And so now you need to release those files.
Yep. So last week, Trump sent 800 National Guard troops into Washington, D.C., and there have even been reported instances of these agents harassing citizens.
Not surprised.
We have a video to show the kind of shit Trump's secret police is doing. Note how the cop backs down when the man tells him he's on his own porch. They look so untrained, unprofessional, and out of their depth. And who the fuck are hiring them for these positions?
Nah. Who the fuck are they hiring?
So here's the clip.
As the statistics show us, the crime rate in Washington, D.C. is at a 30-year low. Nevertheless, Donald Trump sent his Gestapo forces out there to patrol the streets of Washington, D.C. for the next month. We've got the FBI, we've got the National Guard, we got the Park Police, we got Capitol Police out there, we got the regular beat cops, and of course, we also have the Drug Enforcement Agency. All of these groups together have, turned into the roving gangs of, dangerous people that Donald Trump said were already roving the streets of D.C., but clearly they were not. Donald Trump basically created a self-fulfilling prophecy of, you gotta watch out, the gangs walking around with guns, harassing people and threatening them. Well, now you do, because the people with the guns doing the harassing are not gangs, they're not criminals. They're the police that you put on the beat. And a viral video emerged this week showing one of these roving gangs of Donald Trump's Gestapo harassing citizens for committing the offense of smoking a cigarette on their own front porch. Take a look at this video.
How y'all doing today? Y'all staying in that trouble? You got your ID on you, chick?
Well, no, I live right here.
Okay, cool.
It's a cigarette.
How's it mine?
Did y'all get a call or something about right here?
No, so we're doing checks, keeping everybody safe down here, right? Have you heard of the federal surge that Donald Trump's putting out?
No.
Right. You don't follow like
No.
Code 3, anything like that people are putting up? What's up? All right, so yeah, Trump's got all federal agencies kind of coming together for 7 days, going out, trying to stop the violent crime, all kind of stuff. So we're out here contacting people, talking to them, right? Quality of life offenses, smoking, drinking in public, right? Can't happen outside, right? Most people know that. Right? So we're contacting people, trying to advise them of the law so they learn, right? And then if there's other stuff going on where it turns into, there's multiple agencies of somebody, there's shootings and things like that. So there's extra hands available, right? So we're just out here trying to inform people and educate people. It's not like we're trying to just go grab people and ruin someone's life over a joint or something like that, all right?
These people were at their own home, doing nothing illegal. There was no probable cause. There was nothing that should have made any of those officers stop. But they did, and I think we all know why. It's not because he thought the man was smoking marijuana. If he were, trust me, you'd have known that about 4 houses down, bud. You could see it. They were on private property. They were not yelling, being loud. There was no noise violations, nothing. You walked up to them because of the color of their skin.
Exactly.
As
And
soon
this
as
is
his
what you're
foot-
going to have more of. And it's going to escalate because people are going to push back when they start doing this more and more. And then that's going to give them the pretense for more troops. And it's just going to escalate from there because people are not having this bullshit.
No. And I would have told
I'm
them,
sitting on my porch. Did you hear the
Get
way
off my
he
property.
said no? Did you hear the way that citizen said no? No, the contempt in his voice because you're harassing me. I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting on my porch smoking a damn cigarette, and you come and step up on the step and ask me for my fucking ID
and it's
like
that,
this is.
and it's that passive aggressive shit that is really pissing me
yeah.
off.
Oh, cool. And then he backs down.
But then you got ID, champ. Don't fucking come up to me talking to me nice when you are walking all over my rights.
right.
Yeah.
You on my property
Stay
asking
the
me
fuck
for my
off.
ID.
I don't need
And
my
I'm-
ID
to
to
sit
do
on my
anything
phone
on my property.
No. And I'm sure that those young men wanted to say all kinds of shit to them. But they knew that if they did, then that was going to give them the pretext for them hemming them up. Turn around, put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest.
I mean, how could they legally come on their property and tell them?
They would create some type. I smelled marijuana. You look like somebody we're looking for. It would have been all kind of bullshit, or all kind
And
of
I was
more
saying, your
bullshit
mama
than it
looked like
already
the
was.
one that was on the corner down the street.
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Cameron, they gonna fuck you up.
I was saying, your mama looked like the one I saw on the corner the other day.
I mean,
Why don't you go arrest her?
we're being indignant about it, and we're joking some about it. I mean, because that's just how we cope sometimes. You know what I mean? But it really is frightening for me as the mother of black men.
Yeah,
It really is.
and we
and
have
it's been
shown
that way for a long time.
Yeah,
When y'all leave, when y'all are gone, when y'all are on the highway, people don't understand the level of worry that parents have unless you're a parent. And then you add on top of that the thing that's going on, that has been going on in this country, where black men are accosted and or killed just because of the color of their skin, just because they fit the profile, just because, I mean, it's sickening.
Yeah.
But this is what you're going to have. And that's why I don't care if you got to talk to everybody in your family. Everybody needs to go vote in 2026 to take back Congress, because that is the last backstop that we will have to save this country from devolving. And I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm saying what we're seeing.
yeah. And you think about what we've shown y'all this season on this show. Like, think about how they blew open with a bomb the doors of those people in Los Angeles. Think
Flew a
about
drone through their house.
yeah. Think about
They arrested a man just because he rear-ended them.
yeah.
Right.
Think about the family in Oklahoma City that
Yeah.
they raided their house and had
their
them
house,
out
and
in
it
the rain
wasn't
in their
even-
underwear.
It was a lady and her 3 daughters, and these were kids. And you had them out in the rain in their pajamas and underwear, and they had the wrong house. That family that they put out into the rain had just moved into that house. They had just moved from another state and rented that house. You didn't even bother to verify that the person you were looking for still lived there.
Yeah.
And I don't think that lady ever they took cash from her. They busted up their stuff. They took all of their electronic devices
Yeah.
and wouldn't tell them what agency
it was.
It was. And they're doing so much stuff that this kind of stuff is getting lost in the shuffle. You don't even know what is the outcome of this stuff.
If I was president of the United States, if I was the next president of the United States, I would stop at nothing. I would leave no stone unturned. I will find these motherfuckers who did this shit and put them where they belong, in fucking jail. That is what y'all need to fear about the next Democratic presidency, because that is what the next Democratic president needs to do. Find y'all asses and put you in jail.
That's why they're
them all.
covering their face. And he really is amassing a force. A force. I mean, he's hiring. So there's 13,000 something FBI agents. They already have more ICE agents than FBI agents. And there's no accountability.
Nope.
There's no oversight. DC is the first step. This takeover.
Yeah.
They
I mean,
already-
really, Los Angeles was the first step.
Right. They're trying it, and they're going to push a little bit further and a little bit further, and things are going to slip away if we're not careful.
Yeah. And I mean, not that it would be better, but people probably would pay a little less attention, or you could understand them paying a little less attention if Washington, D.C. was first, because you could say, well, that's a federal district. But he actually violated a state's sovereignty
Yeah.
and co-opted the National Guard from the power of Governor Gavin Newsom and infiltrated an American city, bypassing all of the other laws. So if he did that in California, then that means he could do it in any other 50 states. It wasn't legal, but who's holding him to account for it?
Nobody. The courts are supposed to be there, but it's depending on which judge you get. If it's a Trump-appointed judge, you think they're going to hold him accountable?
Congress is supposed to hold him accountable,
and that's the
but
problem.
they're too busy on their damn knees.
That's the issue. It's like we was just talking about what's going on with the mayor. This same U.S. Eastern District, federal court, whatever it's called, they're prosecuting the sitting mayor of New Orleans. They prosecuted the former mayor of New Orleans, Ray Nagin. They prosecuted the former governor, Edwin Edwards.
They prosecuted Representative
Aaron Broussard,
Bill Jefferson.
the parish president from Jefferson Parish, right? So they could do that, but they can't prosecute the president of the United States. That is
That don't
left
make
up
sense
to
to me.
Congress and the Senate. So people are saying, why is Trump getting away with this? What can he do? He knew what he was doing when he ran for president again, because most people who run for re-election and lose, they just go sit down. They don't come back. But he knew he needed to get reelected
so that he wouldn't
go to jail. And y'all went and gave him what he wanted.
Nah.
So this is the other thing that we had to talk about that really was upsetting. So
Yeah.
even when it's not directly connected to Trump, the rhetoric that has been going on is making unstable extremists think that it is okay for them to do shit like this. This man shot a disabled veteran because he thinks the victim was, quote, stealing valor. So you walked up to a veteran and accused him of not being a veteran and then shot him in the chest. The dude's name is Gregory Tim, and he shot a wheelchair-bound veteran in Seattle, Washington. Here's the video. No, I was about to say we had technical difficulties.
We have new video tonight showing the moments leading up to the shooting of an elderly man in a wheelchair along Seattle's waterfront. This shooting happened in front of a pretty large crowd July 31st near Pier 55. In this video, you can hear 32-year-old Gregory Tim accusing the victim of pretending to be a veteran to get donations. During the argument, the man in the wheelchair takes out what was later identified as an airsoft gun. And that's when Tim took the gun out of his backpack. The family of the victim says that he was shot in the chest and faces a long road to recovery.
I mean, to just blatantly just do that out in the open.
So what did they arrest Gregory Tim for?
They arrested him for assault, which I say he should be arrested for attempted murder. And by the way, I was looking up the name because I wanted to make sure that since we say Gregory Tim's name, that we also say who the victim was. So Mr. Harold Powell Sr. Harold Powell.
He's a Vietnam vet?
They just said he's a veteran. I don't know which war.
This is what we mean when we say, devolve, because
14 years in the U.S. Navy submarine service.
I hope he pulls through. And
The last thing I heard, they said that he had recovered. He was okay.
Yeah, he's home now.
So Washington State obviously is a stand your ground state.
Yeah, which I was surprised by because I thought, maybe the
By being
Pacific Northwest, they was, more
a
restricted.
lot of states are stand your ground. This is a stand your ground state, but
I knew
the
that
veteran has the right to stand his ground.
Yeah, and you came and
you can't
attacked him.
come in and mess with somebody and then turn around and say I was defending myself when you started the altercation.
Yeah, and that's like that in a lot of states here. And somebody could be in your driveway messing with your car. You can't go out and accost them. Because if they pull a gun, but then you pull a gun and you shoot them.
Right.
Then
George
now
Floyd.
you can be
Not George Floyd. George Zimmerman. Goodness. Zimmerman. The ass that shot Trayvon Martin.
Yeah. Wasn't Bondi
Florida-
a lawyer on that?
Bondi she was the one that appointed the special prosecutor.
Bitch.
But Zimmerman stalked this kid and then claimed self-defense. You shot that boy, but you followed him. But he got off.
Yep. Another injustice in a long line of injustices in the United States of America.
Because it's in Seattle, in Washington State, this person may not get off. But if they was in a red state, I will bet you they would get off.
But
This is what
crazy.
it's coming to. It's like people just feel like they could just come up to you and say or do whatever they want. Like the lady in
Let me see
Walmart.
your ID. Bitch, fuck you.
Like the lady in Walmart when we went to get our shots.
Don't get
Don't
that.
wear masks. Don't get.
Wish I was there.
I was like, don't tell me what to do.
And of course, she waited till I was in the damn room getting my shot to do some shit like that.
Don't
Because I
wear
was saying,
masks.
bitch,
Don't get vaccines. Well, if I wouldn't have to get a vaccine,
If your ass would wear a motherfucking mask.
yeah, you don't want to get a vaccine and don't want to get a mask. But
Sorry
yet
to
you
those
over here
listening in headphones.
talking to me. Spreading your fucking plague, your fucking germs, you dirty bitch. Like, get the fuck away from me. If you don't want to wear the damn mask or get the vaccines, don't spread your shit to me.
right? But you got an anti-vaxxer in charge of the Department of Health and Human Services.
Yep.
So I'm just I'm outdone. I'm at a loss for words, really. I'm just pissed, to put it in a word.
So here we go with the next topic in the briefing room. The administration is also targeting other Democrat-run cities under the pretense of, quote, fighting crime. They are threatening to go into those cities. So, Bondi threatens prosecution for leaders not complying with immigration officers.
So you're tough on crime.
Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, said she sent sanctuary city letters to mayors of 32 cities and a handful of county executives, warning that she intends to prosecute political leaders who are not, in her view, sufficiently supportive of immigration enforcement. She cites an executive order from Trump directing her to identify jurisdictions that obstruct the enforcement of federal immigration laws. Initial responses from the cities have a mix of outrage and defiance. Nothing in Attorney General Bondi's letter is new, and none of it has legal merit, said Barbara Pierce, Director of Communications for the city of Rochester, New York. The letter reiterates many of the frivolous arguments that the federal government has already made in its pending suit against the city of Rochester. These same arguments were levied against the city of Chicago and were dismissed by the federal district court for the Eastern District of Illinois nearly a month ago. Seattle, Washington Mayor Bruce Harrell, I hope I said that right,
Yeah.
said the way the letter portrays his city is false. So, immigration enforcement is the exclusive responsibility of the federal government. The city neither interferes nor carries out those federal duties, he said. We have received and are reviewing the latest letter from Attorney General Bondi and strongly disagree with its assertions. Our laws and policies protect the safety, privacy, and constitutional rights of all Seattle residents while remaining compliant with applicable law.
So, like we were saying before, it's not going to stop at, it didn't stop at Los Angeles. It's not going to stop at DC. They are using this as a pretext to go into, and they're only targeting blue cities. So it's just the epitome of lawlessness, but you're using law and order as a pretext. But you are just flagrantly going outside the law, talking about law and order. It's just, it's like the upside
all
down
on
world.
the Constitution. So that's it for Briefing Room, y'all. And that's
I
it.
think that's enough.
That's it for the episode this week. Like we said at the top of the show, this is the second to last episode of the season. So that means next week is our season finale for season 1 of the Pragmotiv podcast. We will be talking next week about our Hurricane Katrina experience. It'll be our story from start to finish about what it was like going through Hurricane Katrina, since this is the 20th anniversary of Katrina. We will also be making a very big announcement about what we've been working on behind the scenes that we've been hinting at the last few episodes. So make sure you tune in next week. It's going to be a big finale. We're going to tell you everything that happened to us with Katrina, and you're going to get to finally know what we've been working on and hear what we're going to be doing next after this season ends of the podcast. So make sure y'all tune in. As usual, we want to make sure that you follow us everywhere on all the things. We are at Pragmotiv.
Follow us on
I'm
all
trying to
the
get my things. I can't remember all that shit. Okay. So Follow us at Pragmotiv and connect with us online on the website at pragmotiv.com. You could also subscribe to get bonus content, including our bonus episodes at pragmotivplus.com, which we are about to do. Shoot the bonus episode for this week, where we're going to continue this conversation and go a little bit more in depth. And today's episode of Pragmotiv Plus will also be the final episode for this season. For that. So for all of you who have subscribed, head on over to pragmotivplus.com and let's continue that conversation. We appreciate y'all, and you know what you got to do. Remember to stay prag motivated. And until next time,
Peace.
peace.